and also the good folks at the Calypso Association.
The Dominica Calypso Association, Flo and Heineken Beer present the 2025 Calypso competition. Registration is now open for entry into the competition at Arturo Sport in the Privo Cinemall from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Calypsonians are encouraged to prepare and register today. The DCA welcomes you to the 2025 Calypso season.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, the Catholic community is mourning the death of Father Charles Martin. In news from the region, Barbados to host a high-level Caribbean forum on energy transition. And internationally, the White House defends pardon of Hunter Biden amid backlash. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this?
We have an extra $400 from Flo. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flo. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to $10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmas in with free groceries from Flo. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flo store or visit discoverflo.co. Flo, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flo.
DBS News.
Welcome back. The Catholic community is mourning the death of Father Charles Martin. Father Martin, who received Dominica's second highest national award, the Cicero Award of Honor in 2018, died this afternoon after a battle with cancer. Father Martin of the Soufriere constituency served as parish priest of the St. Alphonsus parish for several years. Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Kendrick Forbes, says Father Martin was a model priest.
Well, at this time, I'd just like to say that the loss of Father Charles is a great loss to the Diocese of Roseau. Father Charles Martin was a model priest, both in his ministry and in the meticulous manner in which he shepherded the flock entrusted to him. He was also an example to us, an example both in his priestly life, an example as also in the way he embraced the cross of suffering in his own life. I knew Father Charles before I was named the Bishop of Roseau. He welcomed me. He's assured me of his prayers and support, and he's been a model priest. Like I said, his loss will be felt tremendously by the Diocese of Roseau, but we will always cherish and remember his example and his witness.
Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Kendrick Forbes. Meantime, parliamentary representative for the Soufriere constituency, Dennis Charles Pemberton, says Dominica has lost a true patron with the passing of Father Charles Martin.
Father Charles Martin shall certainly be greatly missed. He was a true disciple of the Lord and modeled his life embodying the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in everything he did. He never complained or displayed unkindness to anyone, even during his ailment. His light truly shone so brightly. Dominica has certainly lost a faithful servant of the Lord, a genuine friend, and a true patriot. But the Lord shall welcome him with open arms and give him his crown with jewels for the many lives that he touched. I shall remember him when the first plane lands at our international airport, how he so longed to see that day. Father Martin, you ran your race well. You served in truth and spirit. You shared joy and love everywhere you went. My deepest sympathies to the Martin family, close relatives, close friends, in particular my colleague Honorable Miriam Blanchard, the Catholic community, and my constituents of Scottshead and Soufriere. I am grateful to the Lord for the honor to have known such a gentle and wise soul. May your soul rest in peace, humble servant of the Lord.
Parliamentary representative for the Soufriere constituency, Dennis Charles Pemberton. Dean of the Roseau Cathedral, Father Nigel Karam, worked with Father Charles Martin before his transition to the St. Alphonsus Parish in Goodwill.
I just want to remember Father Martin for the dedicated priest that he was, a man totally committed to God, committed to the church, committed to the well-being of his parishioners, wherever that was. He was focused and committed to them, to their spiritual well-being and also their overall well-being. And I'll also remember him for his great generosity of time, and whatever he had, he shared. His arms were always open and hospitable to many, many, many people. And I'll always remember those attributes, those wonderful values that he portrayed and lived. And we will all miss him.
Dean of the Roseau Cathedral, Father Nigel Karam. Kurt Martin, brother of the late Reverend Father Charles Martin, says Father Martin's kind qualities made him a people's person.
He was very kind, very passionate, very loving, kind-hearted guy, people's person. Everybody knew him. During his suffering, he had a lot of people come in and give his support and things, and we really welcome every part of it. And his passing today, it really touched a lot of people. We have been getting a lot of calls, a lot of messages, and everybody knew him, and everybody's saying the same thing about him. He has been a people's person, very kind, very passionate, very loving, and they will remember him for being who he is, straightforward, kind-hearted and everything. Yeah, he will be deeply missed by the family. As I'm trying to talk to you about it, it is emotional, but it is hard, but I can say it's very, very hard. Yeah, he was a very, very, very nice guy. As my big brother, very nice. I'm really gonna miss him.
Kurt Martin, brother of the late Reverend Father Charles Martin. In other news, former government minister Ian Pinard has assumed the position of Chief Executive Officer of the Dominica Air and Seaports Authority, DASPER. He takes over from Benoit Badwell. Mr. Pinard took up his new position at DASPER effective today, December 2nd, 2024. He is a former Public Works and Ports Minister and also the former MP for the Soufriere constituency. Mr. Pinard previously served as acting general manager at the Petro-Caribe, Dominica. 22 students from the Dominica State College are better able to complete their tertiary level education after receiving scholarships from the Chinese Embassy. Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Mangming, presented the scholarships to the students this afternoon. His Excellency Mangming says this move is a testament of the relationship between Dominica and China.
Based on the Prime Minister's suggestion, we are going to provide scholarships to 22 students who are now studying at the State College to help them realize their values and dreams. In July, I presented scholarships to 10 best graduates at the State College commencement ceremony. It is based on the shared emphasis on youth and education between China and Dominica. My embassy launched these programs in 2023, so that means today's ceremony is the second. We offer this program to invest in the friendship and the common future of our two countries. Both China and Dominica attach great importance to youth and education. My president, His Excellency Xi Jinping, pointed out that the prosperity of education leads to the prosperity of the country, and a nation or a country that places high hopes on its youth can prosper. In Dominica,
Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Dominica, His Excellency Chu Mangming. The official funeral for the late Leonard Papi Baptist, a former member of parliament, will be held on Friday, December 13th, 2024. A day of mourning has been declared for the day of the funeral, and all state flags on all buildings shall be flown at half-mast. Mr. Baptist served as a senator in the parliament from January 14th, 1980 to April 27th, 1980, and later founded the Dominica Progressive Party, advocating for the construction of an international airport and the legalization of medicinal marijuana, among other issues. Mr. Baptist began his work life at Melville Hall Estate overseeing livestock before pursuing opportunities in Antigua and later St. Croix, where he established a successful taxi company and worked with Hess Oil Company transporting employees. Upon his return to Dominica, Mr. Baptist opened a supermarket in Casibers, later expanding to Kinfield and Calibishi. He also facilitated trade between Dominica and the Virgin Islands, renting a cargo vessel for transporting local farmers' produce, and introduced a bus service providing school transportation for rural children. Following Hurricane David, Mr. Baptist acquired a 150-foot boat to further support local farmers exporting their produce to the Virgin Islands. The official funeral for the late Leonard Papi Baptist will be held at the Goodwill Pentecostal Church at 10 a.m. Viewing will take place at 9:30 a.m. The Dominica Bar Association says recent remarks by the Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs regarding the court's approach to the granting of bail to Mr. Jonathan Leher are concerning and unfortunate. Last week, Minister for National Security Rayburn Blackmore opposed the granting of bail to the double murder accused. In a statement, the Dominica Bar Association says this type of public criticism by a minister of government of a judicial decision unnecessarily casts a shadow over the independence of the judiciary and risk eroding public confidence in our legal system. It added that the minister's remarks conveyed the impression that the court may have not taken the matter with the utmost seriousness or considered the relevant provisions of the Bail Act or other relevant law. The statement from the Bar Association says while it is not its role to determine or relate to the public whether the Honorable Court was right or wrong in its final determination, it must be stated that in this case, specific references to the Bail Act and several case precedents were made by the Honorable Judge throughout his 24-page judgment. It adds that while public sentiment in high-profile cases is understandable, the separation of powers requires that government officials respect judicial processes and avoid partisan commentary. The Dominica Bar Association says it calls on all public officers to uphold the integrity of the legal system by refraining from statements that may be perceived as an attempt to influence or challenge judicial independence, as this is essential to maintaining a just and a democratic society. On the feature segment of the evening news, we highlight the longest-serving member of the Dominica Infirmary. Azealia Bedminster has served the infirmary for 37 years, having started at the age of 21. She told Leroy Waddick-Charles about the circumstances which took her to the Dominica Infirmary.
The journey started a very good journey, but going through it, it was getting harder and harder. I started as a warded. I came in April 87. I wasn't ready for what I meet, but I faced it head on. And I came in, I was maybe the youngest person there. I met all the rest was elderly. Maybe two young people I was there at the time. It wasn't easy. When I come, my first day, they say you have to bathe a patient. I say, okay, I go to bathe a patient. I had to bathe a patient. I had a patient that was mentally ill. And that patient fight me, Wadix, fight me. But I say I head on. Because when I come out there, I have to go head on with you. So I was head on with that patient, take care of him, I talk to him, in bathing him, I make him think, I try my best until I get him to calm down, and I bathe him, Wadix. I dress him, I do everything for him. That patient, today he's passed, but after that, me and him was the best of friends. But it wasn't an easy task to come. As a young person, I got to meet that kind of a job. You have to bathe. Sometimes you alone have to bathe 13, 14 people. You alone have to make the beds, throw the utensil, mop, and do everything. You alone, Wadix, as a young person. But I take it head on. I go there and I did my best of my ability up to a day like today.
What inspired you to pursue a job at the infirmary?
When I left school, I finished school, I make 2 children. I had my mother home, nothing to do. My first son, godmother, I tell her, she was working at the time, Mrs. Grell. I tell her, my girl, I need a job. I can't sit down at home on my mother account with 2 children. That's not right. I have to get something to do. I have to move. She tell me, okay. She will talk to Catherine Bocho for me. When she talked to Catherine Bocho, Miss Bocho, she say, Miss Bocho, tell me to come in. When I come in, Wadix, I face it. I talk to Miss Bocho. I tell her my situation and everything. She tell me when I can start. I tell her if I couldn't start the same day because I just come there. So I tell her if I can start tomorrow, I have to go and tell my mother I get a job. So I tell her I go in home and I come back tomorrow if God spare life. And I come and I go, I tell my mother, well, look is that, I get a job, my girl get a job for me. Miss Bocho say to come and tomorrow I have to go to work. So you have to watch your children for me. So remember the money is for 2 of us. So you have to watch my children for me. So I have no money to go daycare or to do nothing. So you have to stay there to watch your children for me. She tell me, okay, Zafa. Ale hizo. Ale wesa ukfe. Mok poje yeve, moke poje ba. I tell her thank you. And I go and I start that job in 1987.
So firstly, you actually wanted to be employed, so it was a job for you.
Yes,
but
whatever
then,
it was, I was for it.
But when you realize, the challenges, the difficulties that you're going to be dealing with, elderly people that may not have all their senses, how was it for you actually staying there that long? Why?
At that time when I came in, I had my grandmother there. I had my grandmother at home.
Okay.
I had my grandmother at home. But mark you, I forget to tell you. Before I entered Dominica Infirmary, I used to visit the Dominica Infirmary as a child to go and see an elderly lady. My mother would give me food to bring for her on a Sunday. So I used to go and bring food for her on a Sunday. And then I say, boy, I can maybe do it there. So I had...
Long-serving member of the Dominica Infirmary, Hazelia Bed Minister, speaking to Leroy Wadix Charles of Creole Heartbeats. And that's the national focus, regional and international developments. Up next.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you want.
More gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmasing with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS News.
In news from the region, a 3-day Caribbean high-level forum on managing the energy transition gets underway in Barbados tomorrow. The forum is a joint initiative of the Barbados government and the International Monetary Fund, IMF. A statement from the Barbados government said the 3-day forum will bring together government ministers, regional central bank governors, private sector stakeholders, academics, and members of the civil civil society to hear various presentations on the green energy transition. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley said the IMF Managing Director will be the main speakers during the opening ceremony on Tuesday. And internationally, the White House has defended President Joe Biden's pardon of his son, Hunter, after repeatedly insisting he had no plans to grant such executive mercy. The press secretary said Biden had pardoned his son, who was facing sentencing later this month in 2 federal cases to shield him from potential prosecution by the outgoing president's political foes. The sweeping pardon covers any potential federal crimes that 54-year-old Hunter may have committed over the course of a decade. And that's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report, and we're bowling off with cricket news, as it was a bad day at the office for the West Indies, as they are now on the back foot in their second test match with Bangladesh at Sabina Park. Well, play ended just a few moments ago, and a terrible day for the West Indies as they collapsed with the bat, and they were also very poor with the ball, and it's Bangladesh in a very good position heading into day 4 tomorrow. Well, let's recap the day 3 highlights. The West Indies resuming from an overnight position of 70 for 1 were shockingly bowled out for 146. Casey Carty got 40 and Craig Brathwaite 39. Nahid Rana, he picked up 5 for 61, and Hassad Mahmood 2 for 19 for Bangladesh. Well, Bangladesh, in their second innings, they reached 193 for 5 at stumps a short while ago. Shadman Islam, he got 46, and Mahedi Hassan Miraz 42. Well, Jeka Ali ended the day not out on 29. The bowling figures for the West Indies: Sharma Joseph has 2 for 70, Jaden Seals 1 for 43, and Justin Graves 1 for 20. So the scores as we head into day 4 of the second test match is Bangladesh 164 and 193 for 5. The West Indies 146, and Bangladesh, they're in front by 211 runs with 5 wickets in hand. Well, let's do with cricket news, as Amir Jangu and Justin Graves have been included in the West Indies one-day international team for the ODI series against Bangladesh, which starts on Sunday in St. Kitts. Well, the West Indies team is being captained by Shea Hope. Brandon King has also replaced Alzari Joseph as the team's vice-captain. The all-rounder Justin Graves and wicketkeeper batter Amir Jangu are replacing Hayden Walsh Jr. and Joel Andrew. Well, Joel Andrew will join a cohort of emerging regional players in India to attend a batting camp at the Chennai Academy, concentrating on batting in spinning conditions, while Justin Graves is back in the team following his run of form in the CG United Super 50 Overs competition, where he scored a record 3 consecutive centuries. Amir Jangu also earned selection following a prolific Super 50 season, where he topped the scoring chart with 446 runs in 7 innings at an average of 89.20. So the West Indies team for the ODI series against Bangladesh is Shea Hope, the captain, Brandon King, the vice-captain, Casey Carty, Roston Chase, Matthew Ford, Justin Graves, Shimron Hetmeyer, Amir Jangu, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Evan Lewis, Gudakesh Moti, Shufen Rafathad, Jaden Seals, and Romario Shepherd. Well, we're staying with cricket news this evening. Bryden Carse had a 10-wicket match haul, helping England to a comfortable 8-wicket win over New Zealand to go 1-up in their Test series on the weekend. New Zealand, they were bowled out for 254 in their second innings. Carse picked up a 6 for 42. And then England, chasing a total of 104 to win, got 104 for 2 with Jacob Bethel getting 50 not out. So the final scores in that test match, New Zealand 348 and 254. England 499 and 104 for 2. Meantime, South Africa completed a comprehensive 233-run win over Sri Lanka to take the first test match on the weekend as well. Sri Lanka chasing an improbable 513. They were bowled out for 282. The final scores in that test match are South Africa 191 and 366 for 5 declared, and Sri Lanka 42 and 282 all out. Marco Jansen, he was named the man of the match for his 11-wicket match haul. South Africa leads the 2-match series 1-0. Well, let's move on to some football news as the celebrations are continuing in the village of Dubla as Dubla captured the DFA's President's Cup last night, beating Valvoline Way United in front of a massive crowd at the DFA Technical Centre. Travis Joseph, he stole the spotlight again, getting an impressive hat-trick as Dubla took that match 5-0. We also had goals from Chad Bertrand and Savio Ansem as Dubla won their second title in as many weekends. Well, Dubla captain is Brielle Thomas.
I mean, the last game we didn't take our chances, so this game is just showing you take your chances, you make the game easier for you.
5-0. Talk to us about that 5-0. I mean, come on.
5-0, obviously, just what we aim for. I mean, last game we aimed for 5-0, but we was playing the scores. Seeing that we went down, we started to play their football, but at mid-1, we was playing our game, and that's the difference from today.
Another championship for you, Brielle. 2 weekends in a row, you guys are making it a habit.
Yeah, of course it's a habit, Jubla. When you see Jubla, you see titles. That is just how it is. You see in our fans, when you see our fans, you see dedication, you see sacrifice, you see everything. So our fans are showing. That's why I went for them. They are part of that. They are part of the club. They are part of the village. They are part of the country on the whole, because you see how they support for us, like the CFU tournament. So it's just dedicated to the fans and our coach, Malcolm Bertrand, because many might say you have a good team, but certain times it's his plan that get us over the line. His plan to help us execute over the opponents and them. It's one thing to be a good player, but it's one thing to have a master to guide you as well.
Another big game from Travis Joseph. Just a quick word on him.
Well, big game player, that is all. He look up to CR7. Tonight it showed. He's just a big game player, nothing else to say. He just show his work on the field.
And that's the Dubla captain, Brielle Thomas. Well, Dubla received $10,000 and a trophy for the exploits. Travis Joseph, well, he was named the man of the match. He also received $500, a dinner for 2, compliments Katai Restaurant, and free dental service from Dr. Damien Dublin.
Well, you know, we knew what they wanted in this game because we played them twice previous, and we said to ourselves, you know, we just have to be patient and just wait for our moments, just stay compact as a team and respect them, and that's exactly what we did.
Travis, you've been in some tremendous form this year, leading goal scorer in the Premier League, 3 goals tonight in the finals. A word on how you've been playing. What has been the difference for you?
Well, the difference for me this year, you know, is more hard work. I put in a lot of work and a lot of composure. That was one of the main things for me in front of goal, just to be composed and relax. And my teammates helped me a lot, and I just remain. They give me a lot of confidence, and that's what I ride on.
Travis, how big is this title for you? I know you won one last weekend, but how big is this one for you?
This title was very important for us. You know, it's a huge title because we played them 3 times and we wanted to send out a message, and that's exactly what we did. So that's what we really appreciated in this game, especially for our coach and ourselves, you know, so that was a really important win for us.
And that's Travis Joseph, the man of the match. Well, the Valvoline Way United head coach, Kenny John Charles, says it was another disappointing effort from his team.
I think we just was not ourselves today. We lacked concentration. We didn't check all the boxes. And even during the halftime, we had a positive team talk, and we realized where we were lacking and stuff like that, and went back in the first half. And remember, we played against the champions, and any little slight opportunities you give them, that's it.
Do you think it's a case that your team probably are intimidated now by the Jubla team, or?
I don't think so, though. I more believe because the guys, if you look at it, we have quite a blend of young players, and Jubla is more of a seasoned team. So, I mean, they've been there, done that already. The team we have a few veteran players there, but majority of the players are young players, and I guess with time they will get it. But trust me, because you lay out what you have to do, but the players have to implement it, and unless they can do that, we'll always fall short. So I think it's just a matter of maturity.
And that's the Valvoline We United head coach, Kenny John Charles. Well, We United got $5,000 and a trophy for their efforts. Meantime, Promex Harlem United, they crushed Sagicor Southeast to pick up the third place trophy. Dante Warrington got a hat-trick and Odell Francis added another goal as Harlem took the match 4-0. Harlem also received $3,000 and a trophy. Well, that's where we'll come to the end of the DBS Evening Sports Report for tonight. Of course, you heard the news with Layla Langford. On behalf of the entire News and Sports Department, our links person DJ Halo Boy, Gavin Richards saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It's the second day of December 2024 and we begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements. We announce the death of Ramona Maria Isla John Marie, age 89, of Salisbury. She died on Friday, the 11th of October at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. She was the mother of two daughters, Andrea Vidal in New York and Kay Herod in Dominica. One son, Wayne Herod in Dominica. She'll also be remembered by her three adopted daughters, Sinothea, Curvell, and Lovett, two adopted sons, Curlson and Jason Lodi in New York, brother Rolson John Marie in Salisbury, grandchildren Joel Vidal in New York, Kamal Herod in Guadeloupe, and Amani Joseph in Dominica, daughter-in-law Jael John Lewis, sons-in-law Lodrick Vidal in New York and Kenny Joseph in Dominica, sister-in-law Evelina John Marie in Salisbury, nieces Molly Ravalier, Edna and Maureen England, Joan, Zena, Zella, Uralyn, Marilyn and Josephine, nephews Cuthbert Ravalier, Amos, Gilson, Aline, Matthew and David in England, Huxley, Joseph, Steve and Wilford, relatives Sharon, Claudine, Claudette, Lisa, Lloyd, Ken, Gilson, Frank, Valerie, Mandy and Jeff in England, Linda, Roger, David, King, Princess, Nancy, Kit, Monel, Dinia, Saran in the United States of America, Verlene, Senator Laurie Victor, Amanda, Delphia, Alicia, Milta, Nora, Dimples, Laurel, Letitia, Miriam, Ike, Quail, Eddie, Alton, Jem, Bertley, Othniel, Graveney, Kenroy and Quaid, friends Millicent, John Charles and family, Revelia, Flavian, Darney, Merlin, Evadne, Priscilla and Lovell in the United States of America, and Connie in St. Martin, Molly and Vangelis in the community of Mero, Eldrica, Noelis, Emmeline, Serena, Aldith, Rosa, Josephus, Ivans, Arlan, Cletus and Lena Theophil in Salisbury, the Louise and John families in Salisbury, the district nurse and the community of Salisbury, and other relatives and friends, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Ramona Maria Isla John Marie of Salisbury can be viewed from 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 4th of December at the St. Teresa Church in Salisbury. The funeral mass will take place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Salisbury Roman Catholic Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Gentle Rest Funeral Service, Inc. Management and staff of DBS Radio, the nation station, extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Ramona Maria Isla John Marie of Salisbury.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Let's now bring you this evening's edition of the general announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Domlec wishes to inform its customers in Lower Castle Comfort and Citronier that their electricity supply will be interrupted on Thursday, the 5th of December 2024, between the hours of 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. This is necessary to allow Domlec to carry out vegetation management activities on the high voltage distribution system at Citronier and Lower Castle Comfort. Additional information is available on their website www.domlec.dm under scheduled outages. Domlec appreciates your understanding in this matter and regrets any inconvenience caused. UE Global Campus and the Fort Young Hotel invite all to the 14th annual Dame Eugenia Charles Memorial Lecture on Monday, the 2nd of December at 7 p.m. at the State House Conference Room. Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will speak on the topic, Our Caribbean Civilization and its Political Prospects. The lecture is free. The lecture will also be carried live on DBS Radio. MV Addict will be accepting cargo for Tortola on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. That's tomorrow. For more information, call Beverly Shippings at telephone numbers 445-4487 or 245-5130 all day. We've come to the end of this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. The death announcements and the general announcements. The next edition of the Community Bulletin Board is tomorrow morning from 7:40 a.m. with the morning edition of your general announcements. Don't forget to hear your announcements on DBS Radio. Come into the sales and marketing team's office Mondays through Fridays between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, you can give us a call, 448-3282, 448-3283, same times and days mentioned except holidays. 7 o'clock, we're standing by to cross over to the State House, and of course we will be bringing you live coverage of the Dame Eugenia Charles Lecture from the State House Conference Center.
glace à taille. Marie-Louise, Marie-Louise, Minuel la wive, Minuel nous, Minuel la wive. Marie-Louise, Marie-Louise, Minuel la wive, Minuel la wive. Même si wa mon cher, moi que boy, même si wa mon cher, même si wa mon cher, pas moi te glon one time. Si le coco chaud, nous que boy, si le coco chaud, si le coco chaud, pas mettre la glace à dime. When my pocket full of money, I forget my home. When my pocket out of money, I remember home. From Christmas time, I forget my home. From Christmas time, I forget my home. From Christmas time, I forget my home. Yeah. Christmas time, mobilier casse